So good morning. Um, Welcome to our January edition of our Mindful Moment. Our theme this month is leaning into the new year with intention. So as we look to January and the year ahead, thinking about how can we be more intentional about what we hope to gain from this year. So welcome everybody. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position. We're going to start thinking about how, as we lean into this new year and try and do it with clear intention, that we turn inward and be guided by our heart rather than from an expectation or an external pressure that sets an expectation on us. So, reclaiming that ability to set intentions for ourselves that come from within, they come from our heart space. And this is what we're going to talk about today. And how can we do that? We're going to try and let self-love and self-compassion and self-connectedness guide us in our intention today and help us sustain them in the longer term. That can be a hard thing with setting ourselves with some new ideas for a year ahead. Sometimes we don't make it that far and then we give up. So bringing awareness to your body, sitting in your chair, maybe finding that comfortable support behind you, pressing your low back into the chair so it feels fully supported. Let your feet rest rather than crossing your legs. Let each foot rest on the floor. Feeling the support of the earth below us and knowing that the sky above is always there for us. So imagining that you have a string on the crown of your head, like a marionette string, and you also have one on your chest, and just somebody just pulled them up a little bit and it gave you a little more length in your spine. Not that you want to sit artificially uncomfortably, but finding just a little more length. We're going to lean into relaxation as we get started. So let your shoulders fall down. Let your facial muscles relax. We hold a lot of tension in our face. Let your brow relax. Let your scalp relax. Your jaw, maybe move your jaw around a little bit to eliminate any tension you might be holding. Maybe move it a little left and right, front and back. Open and close it a little bit. I know it feels funny, but it feels good, and it will help you to relax and release any tension. So with good intention, try and rid yourself of any stress in this moment. Move your fingers and your hands a little bit. Maybe rotate, maybe make a fist and rotate your hand around. And then the other way, kind of loosening up those wrists, shake them out a little bit, and then rest your hands in your lap. Take a nice deep breath in and imagine that your belly is a balloon and it just starts to expand with each inhale and then deflate as you exhale. So really even exaggerate that. Make a really big balloon in your belly as you inhale. And then exhale. Moving down your body. Let your hips feel really settled and relaxed in your seat. Let your let your thighs feel relaxed. Your knees, your calves, even your ankles. And then bring your feet so that you're up on your toes. Really tippy toe, Barbie shoes. Imagine Barbie's feet. And then drop your feet down. So just stretching your feet out a little bit also gives your ankles a little bit of a stretch, and it gets your legs moving just a little bit. So these kind of small intentional movements that we can make in our body help us to find calm and relaxation. These movements are available to you whenever you need to just let something go. Allow your breath to be a blessing. Let's time it together. Let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and exhale for 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Together again, inhale for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Exhale for 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Let this breath, your breath, be the anchor which brings you back to this mindful moment. So throughout the day, if you need a pause, time your breath, feel your body relax, and let that breath guide you back into calm and relaxation. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so. If not, you could just gaze softly off the tip of your nose. That's not really focusing, but gazing toward the floor, relaxing that belly again, and turn inward. Using this inward gaze, find what your heart is really calling for. What is your heart telling you that it needs, telling you that it wants? The turn of the new year is a great opportunity, great time to revisit our hearts and to see the message that our hearts are really trying to deliver to us. And when we pay attention, we then can hear it. We hear the message. So from inside out, rather than from outside in, what is the most extraordinary gift that you can give yourself? What does your heart really long for? As we turn the corner also to longer days, what does this light mean to you? What do you want to bring into this light as you move into 2025? And if you have the seed of an idea, your next step is, how do I make that happen? What will that look like? Consistency is critical in making a change and making your intention something that comes alive. Really leaning into what your heart is calling for. Maybe you want to be more physically active. Maybe you've always wanted to take a class in a particular area, maybe an art class, and you've never had the courage to do it. Maybe this is your year to do that. Maybe you want to start your own mindful experience, your own mindful meditation practice at home, and you're just not sure how to go about doing that. And what would that look like? And how will you know if you succeed, right? So when you set an intention, make sure that it's something that you can measure, something that's realistic for you to achieve, and something that you can be consistent about. So saying I'm going to climb Mount Everest is maybe a pretty daunting intention. It doesn't mean you can't get there, but you might want to set some intentions that might lead up to that. Whatever it is you decide you're going to set your mind to, practice it for a week. Assess your work toward that intention. Maybe reassess, maybe reestablish how you're going to go about it. So, for instance, if I wanted to do a mindful meditation and just begin to practice it on my own without somebody else guiding me, maybe I'll set an intention for 2 minutes 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week, I'm going to try to sit quietly for 2 minutes and see how I feel. At the end of the week, you can look back and say, I did it. It was not that hard. Maybe I'll add another minute or two. So maybe the next week you do 3 or 4 minutes. Or maybe you decide you want to add a fourth day. And so you try that. And so you can tell at the end of each week how you've done. You can measure it, you can see it. Your intentions are clear. And you can then continue on in the same vein or rework it a little bit, something that will work effectively for you in your life. So think for a minute here about what that might look like for you, for your intention that you're finding a little seed of in your heart. We are human, and practicing our intentions will help us move toward who we want to be, who we see ourselves as, who we want to become. How we lean into our intentions and the ways in which we may alter them, grow them, modify them, helps us to achieve our goal, even if we have to step back and step it down a little bit. I was a little overambitious. Initially, I said I was going to run a marathon in February, and I've never run before in my life. That seems daunting, right? So that's where being realistic comes into play. Looking inward, letting our heart lead our intention, allow us to connect to self-love and self-compassion. As we lean into this new year and begin to welcome more daylight into our lives, move with intention from your heart. Bring brightness out into the world and receive the brightness as our days grow longer. So as we close out our practice together today, bow your head to yourself, honoring all that you are and the blessing of each inhale and the blessing of each exhale. Have a beautiful day.